Dog's creeping behind me. We got good levels, I think. They're good enough. Okay. Welcome back to Horror First Timers, the chilling podcast where every scream, every gasp, and every heart-pounding moment is fresh and unfiltered. My name is Nate Martin. Call me Tugboat. And this week, I have my friend Elliot from Minnesota, Elliot Vickers. Please give him a round of applause for your hello. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm glad to be here.
Hell yeah. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Elliot's one of my best friends. I haven't seen him in a while. He's here. We watched a movie. If you guys are new to this podcast, we watch a horror movie. Well, a guest of mine watches a horror movie that they've never seen before, and we get their fresh reaction to it, essentially. We are not going to review the film. We are just going to talk about it and see what they thought, what they liked, what they didn't like, how it surprised them, and all that good stuff. So first off, we watched The Descent, which is from 2005. It's directed by Neil Marshall. I only know that because he also directed Dog Soldiers. Have you heard of that movie?
I've heard the name.
It's a werewolf movie with like army guys, like trapped in a house in the woods. Like overnight, there's just like big old dog-looking werewolves just coming at them and stuff.
It sounds kind of dope. I probably watched it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Dog Soldiers is pretty cool. He made that, and then he made this, which I don't know. This is, I think, is way better than the werewolf movie. But he's made some other stuff that I can't think of off the top of my head right now. But he's pretty well known in the horror genre, I would say.
Yeah.
And then the basic premise of this movie, if I can speak. Holy shit.
Take that out in post.
Holy shit, dude. The basic premise of this movie, without giving away too much, is one of the main characters has a tragedy after going on, what was it, white rafting?
Yeah,
White River rafting?
Yeah, that one.
Has a tragedy, and then a year later, she's going with her friends to go cave diving, and then they get stuck down there. So if that sounds cool to you, go watch this movie. Yep. You can buy the Blu-ray, or you can stream it. I'm sure it's on something. I'll put it up right now. So yeah, spoiler warning. If you don't want spoiled, go watch the movie.
Yeah.
First question that I came up with today to talk about this movie is, what were your expectations of the movies, hearing about it beforehand, and then how did it live up to those expectations after seeing it?
Okay. I would say it wasn't as scary as I was expecting. I feel like I've heard it was this pretty like terrifying movie. And there were scary parts, but I wouldn't say it was... I don't know. Yeah, like it didn't quite live up to that expectation in particular. But other than that, there's a lot of cool stuff in there I didn't expect. I feel like later I'll probably talk more about, but the lighting I found was really interesting. The way it's used in some of the shots and some of the scenes is just cool, especially for a movie that old. I feel like you just didn't see.
Be 20 years old.
Yeah. Kind of didn't see that kind of stuff back then as much. Yeah, I mean the acting was about what I would expect. It didn't blow me away, but there is some good stuff, especially the hospital scene. I thought the acting in that was pretty great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say it met my expectation for the quality of the film, just not in the way I was expecting.
How was the movie different from what you thought it was, like what you kind of expected it to be?
Right. I wasn't expecting the intro to be as long as it was, just right off the get-go. I kind of didn't expect all the preamble. That didn't take away from it necessarily, but I was kind of expecting to just, right from the get-go, they'd just be getting in the cave.
And so there's some more starting out in the cave.
Yeah. So there's more characterization there than I anticipated. But that wasn't bad necessarily. I sort of felt it would take longer for the bad guys, I guess, to show up, like the creatures. I thought there was going to be more time spent kind of just like lingering in the dark with these like cramped spaces and like just the fear of being trapped. I kind of wish they had sat with that longer, like the crawl space like caves in, and then it feels like pretty immediately after, just like a few minutes later, they see the first like creature. But I feel like, I don't know, it might have been not necessarily more interesting, but it would have just been interesting to spend more time with just them in the cave, like freaking out, just by virtue of them not knowing if they'd be able to get out or not.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. Speaking of the caves, what was your initial impression of the cave setting? And also, sorry, I didn't have much time to print out paper this time for all the questions. So we're looking at my phone.
That's all good.
At these questions.
That's all good.
So don't be mad at me. What were your initial impressions of the cave setting and how it kind of contributed to the atmosphere of the film?
Right. Well, I mean, I don't think you could have filmed a movie like that in any other setting, right? You need to have the dark, you need to have the cramped spaces, and you need the people to get lost. So it was good for all that. The way they portrayed it, I thought was interesting. Like the caves were bigger than I imagined, I guess. Both, that big deep cavern and like there are these big open spaces. So that was kind of unanticipated for me.
Yeah.
I also thought there'd kind of be more like exploration, I guess, from like the party going in, of just them like trying to orient themselves or something, or like having like starting from like a specific room in the cave and trying to map it out from there or something. But I could see how that would be difficult to do in a movie. Also, I think it was good. The effects were pretty good, like the practical stuff too, but just like the set design, I thought that was kind of interesting.
The practical sets were very cool.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that to like cut down on budget, they actually reused a lot of the different set pieces and just kept rearranging them.
Oh, really?
In different ways to make it look.
Yeah. Well, they did a good job with that. I didn't
think it was easily masked just by like it being a little darker.
Yeah, the lighting,
and then
for
just
sure.
like covering it in bones and blood and shit. Literally using all the tricks.
Yep.
Yeah, but I agree with that. Like, this movie wouldn't really work in any other setting unless it was some other type of area that has tight corners, I guess.
Could be like an underwater cave. It's still kind of a cave, though.
Yeah, underwater cave.
I don't know. Cave felt right. I feel like cave was the move.
Yeah. It kind of, I don't know, those claustrophobic scenes kind of remind me of this movie I just watched the other day. Escape from Alcatraz.
Okay.
It's like an 80s movie, or late 70s or early 80s Clint Eastwood movie.
Oh, yeah.
Where he plays one of the dudes that actually escaped from Alcatraz.
That's cool.
That is still like an unsolved case.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they don't know if they survived. They think they drowned or whatever.
Go figure.
But they literally like cut holes into their little vents and made covers out of cardboard to hide it.
Yeah.
When people would come in.
Right. Yeah,
so the scenes in those movies, they would go through those vents, and oh my god, it's just like I don't know how you would do that without just freaking out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even in the movie, right?
Yeah, you just have to like relax your body in those tight spaces and kind of just like move, not even inch by inch, like centimeter by centimeter to get through.
Yep.
I would fucking freak out.
Same. I would get stuck.
My body, like, my body would just like inflate and just make myself stuck.
Like a blowfish or
pufferfish. Yeah, I'd be like a pufferfish. I'd be like, oh, I guess I'm dead here now. I'm stuck.
Yeah, I could never. I mean, I just wouldn't. I would not go cave delving, cave exploring.
Yeah, I would say this is one of the more claustrophobic movies that I've seen.
It does have some scenes.
There's not many that I can think of, but
I mean, the ones that are there are pretty brutal, though. Like just her having like a panic attack in the, like when she's trying to crawl through and everyone else is like moving ahead without her. Like, that's scary.
Oh yeah, that was that whole scene where she tried lightening the mood with that joke.
Yeah,
and all that.
That was funny. That works.
Yeah, that was really good. Good scene, tense, and then it just became terrifying when the rock started to move down, and they're like, "Okay, fucking go!"
Right. It'd be hard to climb through it that small of a space that quickly too.
I hate thinking about it, dude.
Should we talk about it some more?
We should talk about it some more. Speaking of that, which scene or moment in the film scared or unsettled you the most, and why?
I think so. Like when you first see the guy, it's just like a silhouette, and he's like drooling or puking or something. So not that, but the next time you see him in the light, and it's just at the end of this dark like hallway, basically, and it's just the one lady that sees it, and it's just like you can't really make it out that well in detail. It's just this like emaciated thin figure just crouching. That's creepy as fuck. Did not like that. So that definitely was a good shot too, just in the dark, he's just sitting there.
That really reminds me of those like videos of like real videos on YouTube of like finding a creature in the woods.
Oh
and
yeah,
it's just like a white, bald, like humanoid type looking thing, just like scuttling and scurrying through the woods.
Reminds me of like the Rake creepypasta. Have you ever read that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gave me that vibe. Just this white, like pale, skinny,
gross.
Yeah.
Gross. And then in the close-ups of them, they get even grosser with like
the faces,
the snouts, and they're almost like pig ears.
Yeah.
And then they're blind.
Yep.
So they got fucked up looking eyes. They got weird pupils, and then it's just white.
Yeah, they're creepy looking.
They're pretty creepy looking. The scene that everyone says is usually the scariest is when it's through the infrared.
Oh
and
yeah,
the lady's like screaming like, "Hello, is there anybody there?" And she like pans over and he's just like standing behind her like a creep.
That's true.
That's definitely, I feel like, a trailer shot.
Yeah,
they probably use that in the trailer.
Kinda iconic for the movie.
But yeah, I would say the scariest shots for me would be anytime they just kind of stumbled upon a creature without
caught them off
to.
guard.
Yeah, there's that first one that you were talking about where she just hears something, so she's like pointing her light down the hall, and you kind of see the silhouette, and then it notices her.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden it's gone.
Just gone. Yeah, definitely.
So she doesn't even know if it's real or not, or if her eyes are fucking with her, because some people think there's daylight, and it's actually just the phosphorus
in the rock.
Yeah, phosphorus in the rock, making everyone go crazy, thinking there's daylight. So she doesn't even know if that's real. But then there's a few more moments throughout the film where they just kind of turn into a corner, and oh shit, there's like three of them right there.
Yeah, like at the
don't
end,
move.
Right, just kind of eyeing each other up. Although they're blind, so not really.
And then of course they're like, "Oh shit, run!" It's like, bitch, they go off sound.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
What are you yelling at? God.
Some of the body horror stuff too, like her hand after the rope.
Oh
like
yeah,
that's not scary, but it's like it's hard to look at, like her lady's bone going through her leg too.
That was gnarly. The rope through the hand was gnarly, and then who's it? Sarah. I think the main chick is named Sarah.
I had a hard time keeping track of the name.
Me too, because a couple of them kind of look the same.
Similar.
But it's when she is in like the pit.
Like
the
blood
bodies and stuff. Not in the blood yet,
but like that area. Where she finds Beth or whatever.
Yeah, she has the camera like up like this, looking down, and then that dead girl's body is just getting ate the fuck up.
Yep.
That's pretty gnarly, because
gnarly.
That's practical effects there.
Yeah, you could tell too, all the stringy intestines and blood splatter.
There's definitely some CGI blood. I feel like that is very noticeable. But it kind of works for the movie.
It fits better, or it fits well together.
Yeah. Kind of, to me, it matches the color scheme.
Yeah,
right. But I could be wrong. I am colorblind.
No, it does. But, as someone that's not colorblind, I can vouch.
Sometimes CGI blood is like the right move, like just stylistically.
Yeah,
like it's a cool effect.
There's lots of I feel like we should maybe talk about the color scheming stuff, just because there's like in the body pit, there's all the red from like the flare, and then there's just red lighting on the set, and then there's the red and like the blood pool and stuff. Like it's this very Yeah, I don't know. That was cool. I just thought same, and then there's like green stuff later on too, where it's kind of all this like matching color stuff that they're doing.
There's a lot of like red in the scenes that are just like surrounded with death and like the blood pit.
Yep.
The blood pit is disgusting.
Yeah,
but it's also so badass. I wish the scene itself was like a little bit more badass because it's such a cool concept. Just like a person rising from blood.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
it's almost like biblical or something.
Yeah, there's that new movie that Markiplier is making.
Oh, I heard about that. I haven't seen anything about it.
It's called Iron Lung.
Oh, is it based on the game?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
He's making a movie based off the game.
That's cool.
And he released a trailer, and apparently this movie has the new world record for most amount of blood in a movie.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. Have you played the game?
I watched him play it.
Gotcha.
After I like saw some things about the movie.
Yeah.
And the teaser he released is really cool. I might put up a picture
out.
or something,
yeah.
But it's like the set from the video game.
Like the
turning and all that, and then when it makes a full turn, it turns into like the live action set that
that's cool,
and it looks similar to the game. And then there's just a shot of Markiplier because he's playing the main character.
Oh, nice.
And also I think he's directing it. I could be wrong.
That's a lot.
But his character is just like rising from blood and is just covered in blood, and it's pretty badass. Pretty cool. Actually, that scene was sick. Also sickening because like
it's yucky.
Also, when she comes out of the blood, she's like, it's like, bro, that shit's in your mouth.
Yeah, I think I said, dude, close your mouth or some shit.
Yeah,
like, why are you,
dude? Close your mouth.
Terrible. I can't even imagine how bad that tastes. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and then back to the color. So back to all the stuff we're talking about. The color. I feel like all the red scenes had something to do with the horror of everything going on.
Always like tense or like dangerous. Or
maybe all the green scenes, because there was a lot of scenes while they were like getting away from the creatures that they had like their green lights.
Yeah, like the glow sticks.
And I don't know, maybe that could be represented as like their friendship. I don't know.
That could be. I was just thinking like green means go, like
green means go. Away. But
it might be more
way to look at it too.
I don't know.
I don't know, because I am colorblind, so I don't know how everything is at the end of the movie. But I do kind of like how when she finally gets out at the end, it's like a burst of just outdoor color, even though it's not even sunny. It's like a gray day,
but it's still the contrast.
It's just bright. Insane. You can see everything. Nothing is shadowy.
Yeah, that was a cool shot.
Yeah, it's almost like a breath of fresh air. Like you're getting, like
you're escaping too.
Yeah, you're escaping from the claustrophobic phobia from this movie.
Right.
Stop licking your feet. Get out of here, dog. Licking your feet. Let's get back to the questions.
No.
How did you feel about the dynamics between the group of women, and how did their relationships evolve throughout the movie?
Yeah, well, I think I mentioned this when we were watching it too. They almost didn't feel like friends anymore. And I mean, obviously there was some friction there due to like the cheating stuff. So that was portrayed well, I thought. Some of it did feel a little weird, like why are you guys even doing this thing together? Like, it kind of seems like you guys don't really want to spend time together anymore.
Yeah.
And like, towards the end when she like cripples Juno or whatever, like that felt a little much. Like okay, your husband cheated on you with her, she brought you into this cave, like she did a bunch of terrible shit.
She killed Beth.
But she didn't mean to. I mean, I guess maybe she didn't, like Sarah probably didn't know that. I don't know. I feel like even if someone did all that shit to me, I still wouldn't want to leave them for like these creatures that just killed all my other friends. And also, like, what if you needed her help to get out of the cave still? Like, she was decent with the pickaxe or whatever, or the climbing axe. Like, I would want backup, I think. I don't know. So that felt a little weird. But considering, the kind of movie it is and stuff, like I said, I thought the acting was like okay. So some of the like character dynamics were, yeah. So I guess I would say some of them felt a little forced, but some of it was just fine.
What did you think of the film's portrayal of the claustrophobia and the use of confined spaces to build up the tension in like the earlier scenes?
I thought it was portrayed pretty well. Like, I thought the characters reacted in a realistic way to the situation. Like, even before stuff is going wrong, you know, Sarah's having like a panic attack just from the confined spaces. And you can definitely tell like the stress of being in those spaces is definitely like they're feeling it as the movie's going on. You know, like even pretty early on when Holly or whatever her name is, just like takes off running because she thinks she sees the sun.
Yeah.
Like, that's dumb. But like,
Yeah.
to be honest, if I was trapped in a cave and I thought I saw a way out, I'd like in that situation, I'd probably just fucking book it too. Like, I wouldn't want to be in there. And I've definitely like, to me, I felt like that was because of the claustrophobia. Like, she just wants to get out and get away from it. And I think that's
also that could be a part of it being. This movie's not like in real time, right?
Yeah,
like there are
like
cuts
time skips and stuff. Yeah,
so like who knows how long they were actually even down there, getting to where they need to go because like cave diving is slow. It is a slow process. So like they could have been down there for hours before without seeing any light. So that makes more sense when if like she sees something, she just kind of books it.
Yeah,
it's like, bro, I haven't seen light in hours.
That's a good point.
I'm really fucking stressed right now. I think we're gonna die. That looks like light. I'm going towards it.
Right. Yeah.
Even though that's stupid, and she fell through a hole.
It fucked everything up.
Fucked up her leg so bad.
Yeah, that was gnarly.
Yeah,
that was yucky.
It was pretty gross. Yeah. Like the bone was sticking out of her clothes too. Like, didn't just go through her skin. It went through everything.
Fully displaced or whatever the word is. Yeah, all the way out.
Like, I gotta put it back. Please don't.
Gnarly. Wait, what did Holly? She was like, "I hate you" or something. She's like,
I hate you. But all right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What else can you do?
Okay, how did the creatures in the cave impact your overall experience of the film?
I feel like they were showing a little bit too much. Like, I like the, you know, you only see glimpses thing. Like,
kind of like the ritual?
Yeah, where it's like, you know, you kind of don't get the big reveal until the end, and even then it's like, it's just like this backlit silhouette. Like, I feel like that makes it really impactful. But I thought what was there was done pretty well in the descent. Like, especially at the beginning, it's very unsettling when you kind of haven't seen them yet. But then even once you know what they look like, and have seen them, like even after you've seen them die, even I feel like they're still kind of just as scary. Like the threat doesn't feel lessened just because you know they can die, because you know there's a ton more of them, and like you won't really get away if you can't get out of the fucking cave. Like, I feel like that adds an extra layer to, like, you know, if they were fighting that in like a forest or something, like you know, there's a chance you'd get out of the woods eventually and it wouldn't be as scary. But in a cave like that, like, yeah, it just has this extra level of like.
Not to mention, like, towards the end, you kind of heard that there's probably like hundreds of them down there.
Yeah, a ton. Well, and even like when Juno, you know, I mean, she dies off camera, but like she's obviously dead. But like for her, when they're all like crawling on the like the ceiling of the cavern, like there's
spoiler
a bunch
alert
down there.
For part 2. She's alive.
Oh, that's dumb.
Part 2, it's not, in my opinion, it's not worth it. It's not a bad film. It's just an unneeded sequel, in my opinion.
Well, it seems like it lessens the impact of the first one.
Well,
too.
So the whole movie of the second one, by keeping the main chick alive, is that she gets help. She like wakes up in a hospital or whatever.
Gotcha. She like gets people back down to the.
Then the authorities and everything are like, let's go back down there and see if anyone is still alive. Gotcha. And then they find that Juno still is. But then,
that's weird.
But then they pretty much get put into the same situation that oh, she tried to kill me. You know?
Oh, yeah.
She left me for dead.
Gotcha.
They're still, now they're like enemies now, and then they're like forced to work together, but like by the end of the movie, they're fighting each other again.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not bad. It's just unneeded.
Yeah. What'd you say before? Like, it's a movie that just didn't need a sequel.
The unrated, if you watch the unrated cut, the ending in that, which they originally showed in theaters, is way better.
Yeah, that's what we watched.
Yeah. It's, you think she got out, but that was a fucking dream. She did not get out of the cave. She wakes up and she's still in there. She never got out. And she sees her daughter before she dies, pretty much, because she's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no, I mean, yeah.
That's the scene where I was just saying, you hear, like, there's probably hundreds of them probably coming at her.
Colony or nest or something of them.
And then the movie just ends.
Yeah.
Like,
roll credits.
I think that's the better ending.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I was going to say, I feel like it was just a dream thing is kind of played out, but this is also in 2005. So, like...
2005.
You know.
And it wasn't like the whole movie was a dream.
No, yeah, it's just that one scene. So, like, that didn't really bother me that much.
Yeah. Because there's some movies that are like, the whole last hour of the movie like was not real. It's like,
kind of cheap.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't fuck with that. But yeah, here was good.
That twist is only good once. And
right.
I don't even know who was the first one to do it, you know? It's been done so many times.
Yeah. But yeah, here I thought it was good.
Yeah, watch the underrated cut. It's way better. What are your thoughts on the film's ending?
I mean, we kind of
That's what we were just talking about.
We could talk more about it.
Yeah. So thoughts about the ending. Did you find it satisfying, ambiguous, or open to interpretation? Like, how did the good ending make you feel?
Technically, it leaves things up to interpretation, just in the sense that we don't see her die on screen. But she's fucked. Like she's definitely dead. Sorry, I don't know. Can I swear on here?
I've already sweared many times.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just making sure. It's a little late to.
It's funny. It's funny. It's all good.
All right. So like she's toast for sure. So it's not like there's not too much up in interpretation in the ending, but I feel like there's some like symbolism or something in the movie that I feel like is sort of up for interpretation. Like we talked about the the coloring of the lighting and stuff, and like the relationships, like that's not all laid out explicitly, so there's some like thinking to be done about it, in my opinion.
Were there any moments or decisions made by the characters that stood out to you as particularly realistic or unrealistic?
Yes. Definitely. Yeah.
What were the dumb decisions you saw in this movie?
I mean, okay, let's see. So right off the bat, most important, y'all didn't bring a book like map thing, and then also went to the wrong cave.
Yep.
Y'all went into a cave in the first place. I don't think that's... No, I'm just kidding.
That's a red flag.
People do that.
Cave diving, red flag. Dude.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, like going to a new cave that's like uncharted territory when you're not like... I mean, like they do adventuring shit, but like it doesn't seem like they did a lot of like cave exploration stuff.
No, and when they did, they had a book with like maps,
exactly,
and like directions on where to go.
So that it's a bad call there for sure. Running in a cave, again, I understand why, like trying to get the fuck out of there, but don't do that. You can't see where you're going. And then just all the like, telling each other to run when clearly they're like they can't see but they can hear you. Like just stop. But also, I mean, it's a horror movie, so there's kind of has to be some poor decision making for like the plot to progress. I feel like that's an important factor.
I mean, to a point, it is realistic to just make a bad decision while you're under that sort of stress.
Definitely.
And I don't know what I would do in a situation like that. Thankfully, I've never been in a high stress situation like that.
Yeah.
Where I have to make a life changing decision.
Sure.
But who knows? It might be easy to make the wrong decision if you're
I think that's true.
in that situation.
Yeah, I think that's true.
A few questions left. How do you think The Descent compares to other horror movies you've seen, particularly in terms of its intensity and scares?
Yeah, I guess I'd say like a 5.
5 out of 10?
Yeah, yeah. They're scary-ish bits. There's some discomfort there for sure. None of the jump scares were like jumpy or scary to me, really. I feel like a lot of them I kind of saw coming. There's one where like one of the things is like right behind her, and there's like a quick camera pan over to her, and he's like standing behind her. That one was like, I didn't like jump, but I was like, oh shit, you know, like you're in danger.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I don't know. I guess it just wasn't. I don't know if I just wasn't super invested. But yeah, I didn't. There was nothing like really scary. Like nothing that's gonna like stick with me. I don't think, especially. But it wasn't like bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What type of movies are you like into mainly for horror to kind of like gauge your taste?
Well, I mean, I'm wearing a witch shirt, so that's some
Witch.
The witch.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Hereditary is an all-time favorite. I like slow emotional stuff with lots of build-up and then like big payoffs, I guess is how I would describe it. But I don't like, I feel like jump scares don't often do much for me. I like to feel like unsettled and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Not necessarily from body horror, but sometimes from body horror if it's done the right way.
Body horror is one of my favorites.
Yeah. Good body horrors. Yeah. So yeah, just like, like I like to be made uncomfortable, but also like have the film be thought-provoking, I guess.
Oh yeah. Quick sidebar question to that.
Yeah.
What are 5 horror movies just off the top of your head would you consider to be like your favorite, or just ones you would recommend that you should watch?
Okay.
For everyone here who likes Blu-rays and collecting movies and watching movies.
For sure. Okay. Let's see. Well, I already said Hereditary. So we can save that or not.
We did that for the first episode.
Yeah,
great movie.
Go watch it. It's
great
amazing.
movie.
If you like found footage, Grave Encounters is a favorite of mine. Both of them. The second one's writing was a little weird, but the visuals were fantastic.
Okay. Grave Encounters. I actually haven't seen that.
Definitely check it out.
Okay.
I think you'd like it, especially if you like.
We have pretty similar tastes, so I'm sure I'd like it.
I think you would. And that also holds up fairly well.
Okay.
Skinamarink. It's kind of a hard one to recommend, but I really, really liked it.
Did?
I feel like you kind of have to sit with it. You just have to know going in it's going to be slow as hell. And like almost nothing happens, but at the same time stuff is happening the whole time. And you kind of just have to like be ready. Go into it like expecting to experience it. You know, you want to kind of. There's all this film grain the whole time, right? And like,
I love analog horror.
Yeah, me too.
Especially like the YouTube analog horror stuff. Have you watched like Backrooms?
Yes, yeah. The
Oldest View. That shit's great. It's also made by Kane Pixels. Have you watched the Mandela?
That's what Mandela catalog. Yeah.
That's shit's dope.
Yeah, if you like that kind of stuff, Skinamarink for sure.
Vita Carnis.
Yep.
Is cool.
I haven't seen the actual videos, but I've seen like a video of someone else talking about it or something.
Probably Wendigoon or something.
Probably. Yeah.
Vita Carnis is really cool.
Yeah, those are cool.
That's with like all the meat.
Meat
people,
creatures. Yeah,
meat creatures. That shit's so cool. I've seen Skinamarink. I really liked it. I don't think I'll watch it again.
That's fair. I've seen it 3 times.
To me, I might watch it again just to get like in the future, just to, I don't know, because I've only seen it once. I like to watch things at least twice and get a new read on it. To me, it was just too long.
It is kind of long. Yeah.
For that type of experiment, I think it would have been a really good half-hour to 45-minute short film.
Yeah. The beginning especially, like on my rewatches, I think the first like half hour could be cut down to like 5 minutes. Like there's not that much.
But when the scares come, oh boy, do they
come.
They come. They come.
I come.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, Ringu is a favorite.
Ringu.
And that's not Ring. It's the original Japanese one. It's kind of a different vibe. Yep. It has that kind of like cursed video feel. If you're into that. And let's see, what's something I watched? I just watched The Wailing recently. I thought that was good if you're into Asian horror. It's got that kind of, yeah, it has the unsettling vibe for sure. There's scenes that are like kind of hard to watch. I won't say more than that because it's definitely something to watch.
That sounds cool. It's newer, right?
Yeah. I think
within the last decade.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, came out maybe 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's awesome. Did you notice any themes or underlying messages in this film, such as survival, trust, or confronting inner fears? Anything like that?
Yeah, I definitely think the last one. There's lots of like overcoming hardship, right? Like she has this tragedy, and then all this other horrible shit happens in the film too, and she kind of, I don't know. She seems like she comes out of it stronger in some way. I mean, she also just kind of goes crazy at the end. But like before that, she's like kind of turns into this badass, like fighting for survival and like winning. And she sort of takes control back of her life just by virtue of crippling Juno. Like I feel like there's something there. Definitely some kind of empowerment thing happening for Juno too. Like, she does this stupid shit and gets in a lot of trouble for it, and then kind of like it felt to me like she felt bad about killing her friend, and maybe there was some like new introspection there. She's like, damn, like I did not make the right calls here, you know?
Yeah,
because she's kind of freaking out when she runs away.
To me, I feel like she had the regret there, but also had the kind of feeling that I will do anything to get myself out of here. Yeah. Instead of
yeah, she kind of doesn't grow as a character.
Yeah, kind of thinking about herself.
Yeah, definitely.
Like if it was presented to her, she would push her friend towards the monster and run away.
That's probably true. That's
instead of shield her friend from the monster. Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah. Other than interferes, I didn't think there was much with the themes of survival or trust. Like
it's definitely not friendship.
The friendship. Yeah. I was gonna say before we're talking about the dynamics between the friends and how they don't really feel like they're friends.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of similarities with that and the movie you recommended me and Maddie watch, The Ritual.
Oh yeah, totally.
With them.
Totally.
Because they're kind of in the same situation. They are all coming out of a tragedy. One of their best mates just died.
Yep.
And they're kind of not really friendly and kind of resenting Luke, the main character, because it's kind of his fault that the friend died.
They think that
they think it is.
Definitely
so there's resentment there. All right, why don't we wrap this up?
Okay.
Unless you got anything to add about this film, I got one more question, and then we'll plug shit and dip.
I don't think I have anything else to add. I think I talked about the stuff I wanted to.
Yeah,
the lighting's cool. I'll say that. I'll reiterate that
the lighting is very cool.
There's some cool shots,
and it's oddly works really well with the weird fucking fonts.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it does.
The lens flare effect. I'm gonna use that all over this video.
Please do. That's perfect.
That's how I'm gonna introduce you.
Yes,
Elliot Vickers. Lens flare. All right, last question. Would you recommend The Descent to other horror fans? Why or why not?
I think it's heavily dependent on the kind of horror fan they are. If they like body horror, probably. There's some good stuff in there.
Yeah.
If they like cool set design and practical effects, definitely. There's a lot of good stuff there. But if you really are into like how the horror impacts the characters and like character development stuff, there's not a lot there. If you like really like thought-provoking writing, I wouldn't really recommend it for that either. So yeah, it kind of depends on the kind of person you are and what kind of horror you like.
I don't know. I like this movie.
Yeah,
it's fun.
I enjoyed it.
Definitely watched this while I was too young. I like it, but I feel like some of the scares are a little dated. Maybe because you see those types of scares all the fucking time now.
Maybe I'm jaded. I don't know.
Yeah, Jump. Yeah, I'm kind of jaded with the jump scares.
Yeah.
They don't really do it for me.
They don't really hit.
They hit me in the theaters because they're loud
as fuck. Yeah.
Loud as fuck, and they like scientifically you can't stop yourself from like jumping from that.
It's
so they get me, but like in a scared sense. I'm not scared.
Yeah.
I'm scared because I think someone shot a fucking gun.
Right. It sounds like it, man. They crank that up, dude. Jesus.
But this is good. I'll probably put up a review, like an actual review on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Find me on there. This has been another episode of the Horror First Timers.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Sorry, there's a dog out there looking at the candle. It's gonna fucking burn his face off, dude. Yeah, another episode of Horror First Timers. Elliot Vickers, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Do you want to plug anything? Do you want to plug your handle? You want people to follow you?
Nah, I don't really. I'm not on the socials much. I don't really have anything to plug, but thank you for the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, dude. You can find me here on the Horror First Timers channel on YouTube, Instagram, Tugboat Solana stuff. See all the movie stuff. See the collection behind here if you like collecting Blu-rays and books and all that fun sorts of stuff.
It's good.
And then if you listen to podcasts like you just listened to this podcast, you can find this podcast on anywhere you find podcasts.
That's a good line.
Yeah, thank you. All right, we will see you next time. Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.